Hello, I'm Jean Maguire, and today's talk is about the children of McIntyre and his two wives. Michael McIntyre was born in 1844, but he died sadly at the age of 2 in 46 in Massachusetts. Joseph McIntyre was born in 46, and sadly he also died at age 3 in 48. John McIntyre was born in 48 in Massachusetts. He received money in Stan's will. He worked as a teamster and never married. He served in the Union Army in the Civil War, 30th Regiment, Massachusetts, saw battles in New Orleans, Vicksburg, Baton Rouge, and Washington, D.C. John was institutionalized in 1920 in an insane asylum in Ottawa, LaSalle, Illinois. It's a very large institution with hundreds of inmates. Their brick structure of 2 stories with poor repair had broken windows, boarded up windows, had grills over some of the windows, surrounded by trees and farmland. It housed the mentally ill and indigent. It was overcrowded and noisy. Luckily, by 1926, he was released and worked as a farmer. John died in 26 in Illinois at the age of 77. Mary Catherine McIntyre was born in 52 in Massachusetts. She married James Clark in 78 in Illinois, and James was born to Alonzo Clark and Louisa Wing in Massachusetts, 1846. They had 7 children, and sadly, 1 died. James worked as an electrician. He served in the Civil War Union Army, 5th Massachusetts Regiment, and he received a pension. Battles included Bull Run, Washington, D.C., and Alexandria. They owned their farm, and they worked as farmers. James died in 1906 at the age of 50 in Illinois. Mary died in 34 at the age of 82, widowed for 28 years, and they're buried together. Edward McIntyre was born in 54 and died in 58 at the age of 4 in Massachusetts. Joseph McIntyre was born in 56, died in 58 at the age of 2 in Massachusetts. Michael McIntyre was born in Massachusetts in 1858, married Teresa Woods in 1880 in Illinois. Teresa was born to John Woods and Margaret Caravan in 1861 in Pennsylvania. They had 5 children. Both families moved to Illinois, where Michael owned a farm and worked as a farmer, and then he quit farming as he got older and moved the family to Chicago. Michael died in 1909 at the age of 51 and left his estate to his wife and is buried in Hillside, Illinois. And Teresa died in 1944 at the age of 83, a widow for 33 years, and she's buried with her husband. Elizabeth McIntyre was born in 1860 in Massachusetts. Her family moved to Illinois. She married Jim Kalia in Illinois in 1886. Jim was born to Michael Kalia and Mary Catherine Walsh in 1859 in Ireland. They had 7 children. He immigrated to Massachusetts and then moved to Illinois. He served in the Spanish-American War and received a pension, and they owned and worked on a farm. James died in 26 at 67 and is buried in Ottawa. And he left his wife his estate, and Elizabeth moved to Chicago and then died in 42 at the age of 81. A widow for 16 years, and she's buried in also Illinois. Sarah McIntyre was born in 1862 in Massachusetts. She married Eugene Ryder in 1900 after the family moved to Illinois. Eugene was born in 1860 as Sam Ryder in Della Ketchum in Illinois, and they didn't have any children. Sarah worked as a bookkeeper, and Eugene worked as a baker and a molder. Eugene died in 42 at 82, a widower for 26 years in Illinois. Sarah died in 1916 at the age of 53 and is buried in Chicago. Catherine McIntyre was born in 67 in Illinois. She married Henry Founts about 1888 in Illinois. Harry was born to Silas Faunce and Amanda Poole in 1872 in Massachusetts, and then the family moved to Illinois. Harry worked as a tailor and a cutter in a clothing store and was the manager of a hotel. Catherine worked as cashier and bookkeeper for a store. Harry served as World War I in France, and they didn't have any children. Catherine died in 23 at the age of 55 and is buried in Hillsdale, Illinois. Harry died in 43, a widower for 20 years, and he's buried beside her at age 71. Mary Brady was born in 1874 in Chicago to William Brady and Hannah Leary. She went to school until the 8th grade. She married Francis McIntyre in 1895 in Chicago, and they had 4 children. Francis McIntyre worked as an insurance salesman. He owned a farm and was a farmer. He had, in 1900, a disastrous flood hit the home in the middle of the night while they were asleep, and the dam burst above the town, filling the valley with high water. Homes, livestock, barns were all swept away. They escaped due to a little newspaper boy who was running around sounding the alarm. Francis' father left money in his will, which they used to move to Chicago and rebuild. Mary worked as a dressmaker. She was a member of the American Legion and the Catholic Church, also in the Rosary Society. Frances died in 48, the age of 77, buried in Illinois. Mary died in 65, the age of 89, a widow for 15 years, and she's buried with her husband. If you'd like me to give a talk like this one to your club or organization, contact me, Jean, at mylegacywomen.com. Please like and share this video. Thank you.